I was like, yo, we traded all the way down to get this guy. But then once we drafted him, I looked into him, man. Very intelligent player.
Talking about this defense and this offense on the Vikings for a little bit,
Yeah.
we got to head over to the draft. And now I like to tell people this has been the most interesting draft that I've seen since I've been in existence, for the simple fact that nobody was like a sure bet. So the way that you had to move your pieces around, this was a fill in the spot, hope that these guys are good, because I don't think anybody's a world beater outside of maybe Derek Stingley Jr., Kyle Hamilton, and everybody knows the clip that we just saw from him getting burnt, but he's not a cornerback. And maybe Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm very high on Kayvon Thibodeau. Outside of that, let's head into some of your draft picks that you guys picked up. So I made the graphic for you guys, but just to go down from left to right, we got Lewis Cine. I forget how you pronounce his name.
Murder Scene, man. Murder Scene.
There we go.
Yeah.
Y'all already got nicknames for him. He was the safety from Georgia. Was an absolute stud. Andrew Booth Jr., who I wasn't too high on, a cornerback from Clemson. Ed Ingram, guard from LSU. Brian Asamoah, that he's a very interesting prospect. He's one of those. He was a dark horse pick for a lot of people. He's a linebacker from Oklahoma. A Caleb Evans, cornerback from Missouri. Mizzou in the house. A Cezi Atomewu, defensive lineman from Minnesota. Ty Chandler, running back from North Carolina. Vidarian Lowe, he's a tackle from Illinois. And then round out the 6th and 7th round, you guys picked up Jalen Naylor, wide receiver from Michigan State. And then one guy that I was like, wow, he was kind of a steal in round 7 was Nick Muse from South Carolina in the 7th round. So you guys picked up a tight end right there to help fill in that, still the spot that you guys have been yearning from, what's his name, leaving a couple years ago. So, with all these draft picks, you guys definitely filled in a bunch of different areas. I mean, it's all over the place. Like, you guys this is one of the reasons why I think you guys are so stacked everywhere. You guys are young. You guys got veteran presence. You guys got a bunch of young guys that are ready to ball out. And I hear nothing but good things out of Lewis Cine. So go ahead and tell me, like, who's your favorite draft pick or picks, man? Because you guys have a ton of them. And what are you hearing out of camp so far on these guys?
Yeah, man. So the biggest contributor right now out of camp, man, that's just doing the most is Andrew Booth Jr. He's doing the most right now. So he's looking like he should have been the number one, the first round draft pick. Like, and he was before he had all the injuries and he slid down because of his injury, his core surgery he had to get. And a lot of people were just like, but if you go watch his tapes and stuff, man, that guy is aggressive. He's a physical corner, man, has sure hands, can catch like a receiver. He actually has a highlight that's like a Odell Beckham catch. But obviously as a defender, with an interception in the end zone.
I believe that was against Florida State, don't remind me.
Yeah, man. Sorry about your team, man. But yeah, man, Andrew Booth Jr. is definitely the one that's making the most noise right now. But the ones I was more excited about, once we drafted Cine, I was kind of upset that we reached for that. Like, I was like, yo, we traded all the way down to get this guy. But then once we drafted him, I looked into him, man. Very intelligent player, won defensive MVP during the national championship game or whatever. So, and when they asked the Georgia players, they were like, yo, if you can bring anybody else from the team with you to the NFL, and they can be on your team with you, who would you choose? And 90% of them said Lewis Cine, man. So that just shows you a lot about his character too. So, but yeah, man, the most important one though, the one that's gonna mean the most if it can pan out, is definitely gonna be Ed Ingram, right? Because our offensive line needs that. We need a guard in there. And he's proven that he can play guard really good, and in college he's big, he's powerful, he's throwing people around like ragdoll. So if he can step in, he probably has the best chance, and I've been saying this, to jump right in and be a starter in the NFL. Because the competition in front of him that we have for him on the Vikings there's none, so he should be able to get right in there and win it. But Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with Cameron Dancer, man. Cameron Dancer and Andrew Booth Jr. are battling for the second cornerback spot. And as of now, man, believe it or not, man, Booth's winning that battle in camp, man. You know, unfortunately, man, because I love Cam and I hope he can do his thing. But yeah, Booth's a dog, bro. He's a dog. I'm telling you.
That's glad to hear it, man. I mean, naturally, I'm an ACC guy until Florida State chooses otherwise. So,
Yeah.
Not a Clemson fan at all. I wasn't huge on Andrew Booth Jr. I knew he was physical. He reminded me of a poor man's version of Kyer Elam from Washington.
Yeah, I wasn't high on him either, man. I wasn't.
But hey, who
knows?
Elam
was from Florida. You talking about Trent McDuffie from Washington?
Yeah, Trent McDuffie. I'm really high on. Like he was up there.
Where did he wind up? He wound up going to Baltimore, right? Or did he go to Baltimore?
Trent McDuffie ended up going to Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah, that's right. You know who I really like, bro, man, who I wanted, and I was like, when we picked scene, I wanted Jalen Petrie from Baylor. That was the guy that I was the highest on.
I was super high on Jalen Petrie. He can definitely play cornerback, nickel,
he's a savage,
and safety, all in one. So
he's a savage.
Wherever the Texans decide to plug him up, man, the Texans. I can say so many good things about him. My man, Coach Dante, man, he's a Texans fan, and I was like, dude, you guys got Stingley, you guys got Jalen Petrie, you guys got Damian Pierce from Florida, who I think was my favorite running back coming out.
I mean, just in this draft alone, bro, they stacked that defense up like crazy with them players, man. I mean, it's gonna be, boy, listen, Jalen Petrie, they got a star with him, man. Watch, I'm riding for him, man. I'm gonna support him, even though he's not on the Vikings, bro. I'm gonna make sure I'm tapping in with him.
Yeah. What about Sauce Gardner? He doesn't deserve that name unless he does good. That's exactly right.
Yeah,
cover the number one receiver more than you have, buddy. Before we start calling you Sauce or anything.
Yeah, from what you in the NFL now, so we really gonna see. You talking about you ain't allowed no touchdowns, man. Well, that record's definitely. I can guarantee you that record's gonna get broke, bro. Like for sure. Like we gonna see. We definitely. But I gotta say, man, the Jets probably had the most stacked draft, though, man. I mean, them boys picked. They clean house, bro. Like their draft is just crazy.
I still think Baltimore probably got in over for him, and I'll tell you why. Because of the David Ojabo pick. He gonna come back in like week 8 or 9 and be ready to go when everybody was like, nah, we don't want him. I'm like, bro, did y'all not paid attention to the way that Baltimore builds defenses? Yeah. I mean, not only picking up.
Yeah, because who's that other defensive end they got, man? I wanted him 2 years ago, man.
You talking 99. About Owe?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. I was talking about him on my show last night and I couldn't remember his name, man. That dude, man. Oh my God, that dude there gonna be somebody special, man. He already is showing.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I mean they got Kyle Hamilton, they got Linderbaum at center. Then they went and picked up David Ojabo, and then they picked up my man Charlie Kohler at tight end, who's like Mark Andrews 2.0. Like, bro, it was everybody. I would like to say this though, and I asked the chat, how would you rate the Vikings draft, and they all voted to be 100% across the board. Ryan 1 2 3 4 Stone. Appreciate
Ryan in the building, man. What's up? That's Purple Gang right there.
Another Purple Gang guy.
Yeah, man.
But the draft in general, everybody did really, really good. There wasn't a team that I was like, oh my God, why did they pick them? There was some questionable picks like New England. Who they picked up, but outside of that, everybody had a really, really good draft, and everybody if. They pretty much either got an A, B, or C plus. I didn't see any C minus, D's, E's. Like everybody scored pretty well to me in the draft. So that was good to see. A lot of GMs got to keep their jobs.
Yeah, man. It was a good draft, man. It was definitely interesting this year. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you.
Next year's draft though is gonna be full of studs, man.
Yes, man. Yes, it's just getting better and better, bro.